Hello, my name is Niño de Rivera. I'm a Henso Gracie black belt under Mario Delgado. I'm also a doctor here in Mexico, and this is a way that I like to explain jiu-jitsu using mathematics and biomechanics to my students. It's a great way for new guys to understand it, why things work, even guys who've been training a lot of time. It helps give you a new perspective on control in jiu-jitsu, right? I would love to hear what you guys think about it. You can leave it in the comments. And well, so for me, the maximum control number is 2. Whoever obtains that control number controls his opponent, right? So the human body has 2 waistlines, the pelvic waistline and the scapular waistline. So the pelvic waistline represents control number of 1, while the scapular waistline represents also a control number of 1. Each one is divided. The pelvic in the right hip and the left hip, and the scapular is divided in the right shoulder and the left shoulder. Each one represents then 0.5 of control. So whenever you control both of them, then you get 1 plus 1, that's 2. And why this is so important is because in the waistlines, the biggest muscles in the body are inserted, right? So in order where your opponent movement will generate is from those big muscle groups. If you can hinder and nullify the movement at its origin, then it's gonna be much harder for your opponent to escape. Think about it as a screw. If a screw is loose, it will eventually become looser and looser until it falls out. But if a screw is tight from the beginning, it will have nowhere to go. So if we control these 2 structures, your opponent is going to have a really bad time trying to escape. And now let's see which control position gives us a number 2. So mount, we have our waist above his waist, our legs hooked in, and then we have a head and arm control when we're stabilizing mount. Side control, close guard, and this will help a lot of people, I think, understand close guard a little bit better. So when you're in close guard, as Professor John Danaher has mentioned, your hips are above his, so you're controlling his waistline, but his scapular waistline is still above yours. So whenever he has a good posture and a good base, then he can be offensive. That's why you have to break posture, bring him down, get an underhook, a wizard, head control, and now your waist and your arms are controlling both waistlines, then you have complete control over your opponent. Back control and butterfly guard. This is an exception to the rule of dominant or close guard positions, but whenever you got both hooks in and you manage to break your opponent posture down and get double underhooks or even a good shoulder control, then you have a really good control on your opponent. Coming on to 1.5 control, that would be dominant half guard. And this is a pretty interesting part of this theory because you see half guard guys control go over the top and the bottom guy in the same fight without them moving a lot. It goes from the bottom guy to the top guy and from the top guy to the bottom guy. So when you're in half guard, each one has 1 hip control. Whoever gets control or the remaining 3 elements, then it's going to be in control of the position. And most likely, you won't be able to get control of all 4 of them. You'll be able to get control of 3 of them at the time. That will give you a control of 1.5, and that's why you are dominating half guard. As of control number 1, well, open guard is the lowest form of control, but it's the easiest one to get into. So spider guard, Ashigorami, X guard, lasso and whip, and De La Riva will usually get you control over either both of your opponent hips or both of your opponent's shoulders, or one side completely, like De La Riva, right? So that will give you 0.5, that will be 1. Now I'm going to pause the video a little bit and I'm going to show this with my students. So I think seeing it in live will be give a better understanding of what I'm saying. Okay, so now my student is gonna come over here. So what I'm saying is your opponent has his right and left shoulder, right and left hip. If you control all four of these structures together, you'll have control of him. So close guard here. I'm in control of the pelvic waistline. Now, whenever I manage to break posture, I'm bringing him over here. Now I got complete control over him. Same with mount position. So if I'm here in mount and I have a head and arm and a good, I'm stabilizing my opponent, then I'm completely controlling him. Side control, the same, right? You see how I'm covering down and up. Also now, a half guard. So a half guard is controlling my right hip and I'm controlling his right hip. If he's under me, he wants to get the underhook and then control my far leg. So now he's controlling both of my hips and the shoulder, which is making me post. But if I get the underhook and I manage to get the head and arm, I'm controlling all of his scapular waist. So that's 1 plus his right hip. That's 1.5 and he has only 0.5. And open guards, well, the spider guard, sorry I don't have it here right now. That's 1. If I go under into X guard, right here, so I'm controlling both of his hips. So you can see how this helps understand a little bit better control. Again, let me know what you think, and I hope you guys like this video.